Hello, welcome. My name is David Baker. I'm the National Director for the John Jubilee Transformation Experience, and we're glad you're here tonight. We have something very special for you. This webinar is going to be on diabetes and a very, very important health issue and topic. I've been a pastor for 27 years, preaching for 27 years, and I was a chaplain for a couple of years in a nursing home. And I saw the ravishing effects of diabetes as so many sweet, dear people, moms and dads and grandfathers and grandmothers had to have legs and limbs amputated. It was so sad. And a lot of times we don't think about how bad it is, but seeing the devastation of it was. I have a younger brother that's 2 years younger than me that not too long ago was diagnosed with diabetes, full-blown diabetes, and it runs in our family. I believe I was pre-diabetic. I never got checked. I was afraid. I knew the symptoms of it, and I believe I had it, but didn't want to admit that. And 2 years ago, I heard John on the radio for 5 minutes, heard about what he said. It sounded too good to be true, but I came and signed up, and boy, it was amazing. Lost over 50 pounds of fat, got healthy. All those symptoms that I had of pre-diabetes were totally gone, and I just had a health checkup the other day for some new life insurance, and all the numbers were great. And so I thank God for John, and I thank God for this program. And so you're going to get to hear John Jubilee talk about diabetes and how we can help. If you have friends or family, loved ones, or yourself that has any of these issues, you definitely want to be able to take advantage of this. So now, Mr. John Jubilee.
Hey friends, I am so glad that you're here with me. There is no more critical topic that you'll ever hear me talk about than the diabetic epidemic that literally is ravishing our nation right now as we speak. It is a silent killer. It's a silent killer in America. And when I say that, I am not exaggerating. And even before it kills people, it so debilitates and steals the life, the daily joys, the daily pleasures of life right out from underneath people. Let me just start out with a true statistic that's going to be shocking. It's going to be shocking. This is definitely rated, this material is rated R. Okay, we're talking about limbs being chopped off. If you were watching a movie and somebody's leg got chopped off, that would be an R-rated movie. Well, diabetes is chopping off 200 limbs a day, every day, 365 days a year, 200 limbs absolutely chopped off of human bodies, of real people, of your friends, of your family members, of my friends, of my family members. Real people. These aren't just statistics. When I'm talking about numbers, I want you to visualize real people. Your aunt, your uncle, you, your grandmother, your grandfather, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister. Just imagine how life-changing it is to have one limb chopped off, or two. But 200 limbs, arms and legs are chopped off every single day in America just because of diabetes. Listen, some of these numbers are so big, they just don't even seem real. But we're talking about millions and millions of people, up to 4 million deaths a year. The 7th leading cause of death in America is diabetes. This is a crisis. It's a true crisis. Now look, I am going to get to some good news here. But we need to realize how serious, this situation is. And look, on a practical note, even if diabetes hasn't caused you or your family member yet to have a limb chopped off, the average expense of having the disease of diabetes is over $1,000 a month. It's more than $1,000 a month to have diabetes. Now, when somebody says, John, your program's expensive, between $2,000 and $3,000, which is what I offer it for people on webinars, are you serious? People are spending over $1,000 a month just to treat one illness. Just diabetes in America is over $1,000 a month. It is an expensive disease to have. And if you get your limbs chopped off, it's going to get way more expensive because all of a sudden your income earning goes way down, your income earning potential. And your whole family suffers because of this. But listen, there is 90% of people that are pre-diabetic have no idea. They have no idea. They're walking around, they're smiling, they're laughing, they're working. They have no idea they're pre-diabetic. The American National Center for Disease Control has just released a new study, and they are anticipating that over 80 million Americans, 80 million, will have diabetes within the next decade. 80 million. That's 1 out of every 3. So just picture when you're at work tomorrow or at school, every third person you see, when you're at the grocery store, every third person, when you're out anywhere in life, every third person becomes diabetic. That is what is absolutely scientifically projected by the American Center for Disease Control. 1 out of 3 Americans. That means 1 out of 3 people are going to be spending $1,000 a month or more just to treat one disease. If it was just diabetes, it'd be bad enough. But diabetes is also connected to heart disease, which kills millions of people, and strokes, which is so debilitating to the lifestyle of people. And do you know that literally millions of people lose their sight, become blind because of diabetes? I'm talking millions of people, not a few. Millions of people, millions, losing their sight because of diabetes. They will never see their spouse again. They will never see their children again. Never. Because of this one disease, because of diabetes. So look, don't shoot the messenger and don't think I'm trying to be dramatic. I'm not. I am telling you facts. Black and white facts. These are the facts of diabetes, of how debilitating it is. It causes blindness by the millions. 200 arms and legs a day are chopped off every single day in the United States of America. 1 out of every 3 people is on the path to becoming a full-blown diabetic in America. These are facts. Millions of people literally die with complications connected directly to their diabetes. These are absolute hardcore facts. So can I get to the good news? Because I'm an optimistic person. And here's what I say. I got great news for all of us. I got great news for the 80 million people that are headed to that future. Don't go left toward diabetes. Go right. Go right. Go the right way, which is a way of transformation and cellular health. Go the right way. Look, when you do the right things, the 10 simple steps that I teach, guess what? You will not become a diabetic. Now, how can I say that so strongly? Because, look, I'm talking about pure science also. I have had hundreds and hundreds of cases of people that were full-blown diabetic that are not diabetic at all anymore. I had a nurse that called me on live radio. Her husband and her called at the same time. Her husband began to speak. He lost his voice because he was crying. I didn't know he was crying. She grabbed the phone. She said, "John, my husband can't speak right now, but I'm a nurse, and I want you to know I took my husband to 4 doctors, 4, because I could not believe he was fully cured of diabetes, but he is. And oh, by the way, cool side effect of your program, he lost 60 pounds of fat while he was being completely cured of his diabetes. Those are her words. And I have hundreds of testimonies. And you can go look, don't just take my word for anything. Listen to the dozens and dozens and hundreds of people that will tell you their exact testimony. They were a full-blown diabetic, and now they are completely insulin-free, diabetic-free. Their doctor says they're diabetic-free. Their doctor says they don't need their insulin anymore. I have clients that were shooting shots in their belly, 3 insulin shots a day, and now 0. They don't need any insulin. They are totally diabetic-free. Listen, diabetes is just a cause of a pancreas. Your pancreas produces insulin for your body. If your pancreas is not functioning at the optimal level, it cannot produce the insulin. You need optimal pancreatic function to produce your insulin. So the good news is, when your cells are healthy in your pancreas is healthy. It functions as it should. It regulates your insulin as it should. When you build your house, and I teach build a house, live in a house, when you build your house and you gain your lean, healthy muscle also does 2 incredible things. Number 1, it metabolizes just 5 pounds, 1 inch of muscle will metabolize 50 pounds of fat in 1 year, every year. That's the power of building just 1 inch of lean, healthy, solid muscle. And I teach people how to do that with no heavy breathing, no sit-ups, no running, and no extreme exercise. None. Everyone can do it. But the other thing that lean, healthy muscle does is helps your body regulate sugar, which helps your insulin to function effectively. But more important than fat, more important than sugar, let me tell you, I couldn't even make these stories up, friends. I just tell it like it is. One evening, I'm sitting downtown in a major city. I'm sitting with a table full of doctors. The doctor sitting to my right is a spokesperson for the American Diabetic Association. I asked the doctors, what do you believe is the #1 cause of diabetes? Immediately, the first doctor said, sugar. I said, good guess. Wrong. The next doctor immediately piped up and said, fat. I said, another good guess. That's wrong. Well, now they got nervous. Nobody was given an answer. So I turned to the doctor to my right, the spokesperson for the American Diabetic Association. And I said, doctor, what do you say? This doctor looked at me and said, John, I would have said sugar or fat. I said, how is it you're a spokesperson for the American Diabetic?
Hello, John just bleeped off. Sometimes the computers will do that. He'll be back on in a second, I'm sure. Sometimes the digital things happen that way. And so no problem. We're here to be able to cover that. I have the number statistics, some of the ones he had sent me some bullet points of what he had. And it is literally just amazing to see, no matter however you want to look at it. The amputation, 73,000. This was a few years ago. It's gone up. 73,000 people have had their limbs amputated a year. 73,000. That works out to 200 a day. 200 a day. Just amazing to see. I was there as the chaplain where they would bring people in, and we would know they would have to go out for an amputation that day, and I would have to go in and pray for them before they went, and their families there. And to think about your leg, think about walking, think about never being able to do that again and having to lose that, just tragic. So whether it's on the losing an amputation, losing a limb, or also on the finances of it, this is a staggering statistic. The cost of diabetes in the United States, $245 billion. $245 billion is what it cost. And the 176 billion for direct medical costs, but 69 billion for reduced productivity. And so when you think about how that is, because they're not able to work. I have a very good friend who's a nurse that goes to has to be the one to administer the when they're going to dialysis, and they have to go 2-3 times a week, and they have to sit there for hours upon hours to have to get their blood filtered because of the issues that they have, and so just amazing the things that happen. With that, so John said he will be right back in 2 minutes, so no problem. I'll keep going over some of these statistics. And they say the deaths caused by diabetes is so underreported because diabetes is not just diabetes. It is it causes so many other things also. The diabetes causes heart problems. Well, heart disease is the #1 leading cause of death in the country, #1, and diabetes attributes to that. Also, diabetes causes stroke. And so strokes, how many people die with that? And diabetes also affects that. Also, and the statistics there, it said that diabetes also affects kidney disease, okay? Kidney disease. And so having to go to be able to have those kind of issues because of that. It's just amazing the problems and issues that come with those things, where now they're diabetic, now they don't have kidneys, now they're on dialysis, now they're having all kind of issues, and so many things go back to this thing of diabetes. And as you know, diabetes used to not be a big deal. Some people were born with it. And hey, John, I'm just giving some of those statistics that you gave me earlier. So I told him sometime with technology things will pop off and pop on. So John is back. So you were telling us about the doctor, and this is about where you left off before.
Absolutely. And the answer, the true answer to what is the #1 cause of diabetes is dehydration. You take the water out of that pancreas, it shrivels up and it cannot regulate that insulin the way that it's supposed to. So here's the good news. Those of you that have been following me, or you've done your research, you know what? I have a hydration revelation. I know how to make a cell become porous like a sponge and uptake hydration and open up so that mitochondria fires like a thermonuclear power plant, and that helps activate that pancreas and regulate that insulin. And that, in conjunction with literally building the house, building just a little bit, 1 little inch of lean, healthy muscle mass, and losing that body fat and getting that hydration in those cells and getting that body moving, guess what? People's diabetes is completely reversed. Completely reversed. And look, don't think that's just a little technology blip, what just happened here. I teach this principle also. Whenever you see great adversity and great resistance, you are on the right track. So just the fact that I am literally, for the first time, bringing a message to literally sound the alarm. Hey, 80 million people better be aware. 90%, which means 72 million people, have no idea that they are pre-diabetic. They have no idea they could be one of the 200 people lined up to get their limbs chopped off. They have no idea that they could be one out of every 3rd person about to lay down over $1,000 a month to pay for your diabetic care for the rest of your life. I'm sounding an alarm, and I'm letting people know you have real hope. You can have a confident expectation that you will never, never, never be one of those statistics. And if you're already one of those statistics, I got great news for you. You can take yourself out of the statistic column and move yourself over to the non-diabetic column and stay there for the rest of your life. If you have diabetes, I got great news for you. I have had hundreds of medically doctor-documented diabetes reversals. Documented. Fact. Scientific fact. And you say, well, John, that sounds too good to be true. Hey, you know what? I used to say that too. But so what? If it's medically documented, scientific fact, and it really happens, well then, hallelujah. Let's do what pure science says will happen, can happen, will happen. You just have to have a corresponding step, a corresponding action so that it can happen for you. And you really can do it. Look, 18 years ago, when I started helping people that were diabetic, they'd say, John, will this help my diabetes? You know what my answer was 18 years ago? I don't know. Let's see. After a few hundred people got cured of diabetes, and their medical report from their doctor said, you are cured of diabetes, you don't need any more treatment whatsoever for diabetes. Then when people started asking me, will this help my diabetes? I'd say, well, they say, those 200 people that were cured, they say. Those 300 people that were cured, they say. Those 500 people that were cured, they say. Yes, it will help your diabetes. In science, when something really happens, when a meteor really crashes to the earth, that is called empirical evidence. When hundreds of people are actually cured of diabetes and their medical report documents it, that is called empirical evidence. And I, by empirical evidence, by they say reports, say, I got great news for you. If you're in the column of diabetic, you can get out. If you're one of the 90%, the 72 million people that just don't have a clue, you're not stupid, you're just ignorant. There's a big difference. Ignorance just means you don't know something. Doesn't mean you don't have the capacity to know. If you went and had all the tests done and they said, yes, you are pre-diabetic, you better do something different. So I'm telling you for a fact, a scientific fact, 1 out of every 3 people in America is literally headed for this abyss. And it's an abyss. It's a dark hole. Don't you agree? To literally spend over $1,000 a month every month for the rest of your life just treating a disease, to have to take a needle 3 times a day and stick it in your belly and stab and give yourself a shot, that is not a life you want, I promise you. And worse than that, do you want to be one of the 200 people every single day lining up to get your limbs chopped off? Can you imagine how your life would change if you had no feet? Your life will change dramatically, more dramatic than I could possibly communicate on this webinar or in person. But if I was looking at you right in the face and I could take your shoulders and just lovingly shake you a little bit and say, don't let that happen to you. There's no reason that has to happen to you. Don't become that statistic. And if you are that statistic, be willing to do what it takes to shift it. Listen, I want to just get real practical with you for a minute. When we're talking about, we're not talking about somebody just, well, I want to look a little bit better. I want to feel a little bit better. Hey, we're talking about avoiding something that can kill you, can blind you, can make you get your feet and hands chopped off. Okay, that's way more serious than just looking a little bit better, being able to wear that pair of pants. Now look, cool side effect. When you get healthy and get cured of diabetes, guess what? You're going to lose your fat too. You are. You are going to feel better. You are going to look better. But we're talking about something way more important than our cosmetic appearance here. We're talking about staying alive, keeping our vision so we can see the people we love, see our children, see our grandchildren, and that we can have feet to actually walk them down the aisle and to get out there and play with our grandchildren instead of sitting over there in a wheelchair saying, oh, sorry, I was one of the 80 million people that got diabetes, and I was one of the 200 a day that got my feet chopped off. So listen to me. I want to ask you a question. What would it be worth to you to guarantee, to buy yourself an insurance policy that that's never going to happen to you? What's it worth? Priceless, right? I got news for you. If somebody asked me the same question, I'd be like, dude, here's my car keys, here's my house keys, here's all my furniture. Whatever it is, I'm buying it. Whatever it is, I'm buying it. But I'd only buy it if they said what I'm about to say to you. Listen, if it works, is it worth it at any price? I know you're saying yes. I know I'd be saying yes, and I am saying yes. If it doesn't work, I'll give you back your money. It's that simple. If it works, you know it's priceless. You know it is. If it doesn't work, I'm just going to give you back your money. You know why? You know why? Because I care about helping you. I care about helping you. I'm here to change the world one person at a time, starting with the most important one. And you know who the most important person in the world is? You are. You are. I want to help you be the best you can possibly be. And I know that's priceless. I wouldn't take your money for anything. I would not. But I would do anything to help you change your life. I'd do anything for you to know, to have the peace of mind that you know, hey, maybe I was in that 72 million people that had no clue they were pre-diabetic, but now I know I'll never be diabetic. I know that I'm going to do the right thing so that my pancreas functions the way it should, so I have the healthy amount of muscle I'm supposed to have in my body, so my insulin is regulated the way it should, and I'm going to keep my 2 feet, and I'm going to keep my vision, and I'm going to keep my $1,000 a month for the rest of my life instead of paying it out for diabetes. Listen, friend, I learn every single day from my clients. I learn from my friends. Every one of my clients becomes my friend. You know why? Because when you go through something like this together, you are going to be my friend, and I'm going to be your friend. I might be your best friend. I hope I am. But it is the joy of my life to get to truly help people. It's the joy of my life to know that what I do literally changes people's life and their lifestyle and their health forever. Forever. Your life will be improved. But here's what I learned from one of my clients. He was permanently disabled. Permanently disabled. He couldn't exercise for 1 minute. But he wanted to do my program. But he taught me something about money. Taught me something about money, and I want to teach it to you. And when he came in and he said, John, I'd love to do your program. Heard great things about you. Heard great things about your program. He said, but man, I cannot exercise for 1 minute. I said, you can do the exercise I teach for a minute. You could do it for an hour. He said, no way. I said, way, you can do it. He said, John, if I ran from here to the back of this room, I would die of an asthmatic attack. I have bronchial airways disease. I got caught in a fire. My lungs burnt up. I don't even have all my lungs. And I said, brother, I teach no running, no extreme exercise, no sit-ups, no heavy breathing. You can do what I teach to do. I finally convinced him. He said, how much does it cost? And when I told him $3,000, he literally froze. He froze for 3 minutes. He sat there for 3 minutes. Your screen is not frozen. I'm doing that on purpose. That's awkward, right? So awkward. But I'm taught to be polite and wait till someone responds. And then 3 minutes later, he said, I'm doing it. He grabbed his paperwork. He starts filling it out. 88 days later, this guy comes popping in. He's like, John, oh my gosh, it's changed my life. I lost 14 inches in my waist. I feel so good. He said, I can't believe it, man. He said, he lost over 70 Actually, he lost 81 pounds of fat. He lost 81 pounds of fat in 88 days, permanently disabled. He gained lean, healthy muscle, almost 15 pounds of healthy muscle. He's like, John, this changed my life. He exercised for 90 minutes that day. He said, John, I'm not kidding you. He said, this changed my life. If I had $1 million, I'd give it to you. He's very loud. He's from New York City. You know anyone from New York? You know anyone quiet from New York? Neither was this guy. He said, John, I'm not kidding. This is worth $1 million. He goes, but could I tell you what I was thinking when you told me how much this cost? I said, brother, please tell me what you were thinking. Are you kidding me? You had an out-of-body experience, man. You were gone for 3 minutes. He said, John, my first thought was, that's too expensive. I'm not spending that money on myself. He said, but my very next thought was, I live in a brick house, and I just paid some guys $3,200 to paint the trim on my house. He goes, a few months ago, they called me, said, hey, Lisa's car needs a new transmission, $3,500. He said, I paid it in a minute for the car. 6 months before that, $5,400 for heating and air conditioning. 6 months before that, $5,000 to go to Disney World. He said, John, I'm thinking of all these things. I'm doing an inventory of all these things I spend money on. He said, and I came full circle to what? $3,000 for my health? For me? I'm worth it. I'm doing this. When he said that, my light bulb went off. Oh my word. That's how we think. We devalue our health. We devalue ourselves. So friend, look, I ask you this question. You know, I offer a program that changes people's life, and I offer 100% money back guarantee too. You do exactly what I say. You follow me like a GPS. When I say turn right, turn right. When I say turn left, turn left. You follow my instructions like I say, and if this doesn't work for you, I'll give you back every penny of your money. It's that simple. Because like I said, I wouldn't take your money for anything. But if it works, is it worth it? You know it is. It's priceless. So listen, if you or a loved one is diabetic, or you're pre-diabetic, or you think you might be pre-diabetic, then you probably are. Guess what? I got a great news for you. I have hundreds of medically documented cases where people have completely reversed, needing zero insulin, and are literally classified as non-diabetic. So you can have that same experience as well. So I'm going to invite you to that opportunity. I'm going to invite you to not be one of 3 people, to be in that statistic of 1/3 of Americans are headed for. I'm going to invite you to not be in the statistic of the 200 people a day, 365 days a year, including Sundays and holidays, of people getting their feet chopped off. I'm going to invite you to not be one of the statistics of over 4 million people that go blind or have eye problems because of diabetes. I'm going to invite you to have a life that you dreamed of being well, of being your true self, of finding your true genetic blueprint. And oh, by the way, cool side effect, you gain healthy hydration, you lose fat, you lose inches, you gain your lean muscle, you gain your healthy hydration. And guess what? It'll even create positive chemical reactions that will help you have your joy back. Do you know that literally every antidepressant, anti-anxiety medication is based on 2 lacking chemicals, which is just serotonin and dopamine? And guess what? When you get healthy at a cellular level, your body will naturally produce good amounts of serotonin and dopamine for your body, which gets your joy back. I've had people get off of 3, 4, 5 antidepressant, anti-anxiety medications. I'm talking one person getting off of that many. But look, I'm talking about diabetes. but there's all kinds of things that are tied in. Diabetes creates strokes, it creates heart attacks, it creates blindness, it causes limbs to be amputated. It has many negative side effects. I'm talking about cellular transformation, getting healthy at a cellular level, and some positive side effects, which is finding your joy, being the real you in every area of your life. So I'm going to open up for some questions at this time. So if you have questions, you can type those in. David's going to come back on the screen. He'll take a look at those questions. He'll share them with me. I want you to be open, whether it's for you or for a family member. Hey, we're family here. So look, I'm a pure scientist. I don't care what the truth is. I just want to know what it is, and I want to share truth with you. So I'm just going to share the truth with you. So if you've got a question, I want you to ask it at this time, because I want you and your family to never, never have the fear of being diabetic. And if you're diabetic, that you can have the faith that you can be free from diabetes forever.
Awesome. Thanks, John. If you do have any questions, just type them in the side over there, and I'll be glad to ask John, and he'll stay here as long as he needs to answer any questions. I love hearing this, and I know how good it is to be able to help and fix these things. The other thing I want to share is just how to get started with this now. If you heard this and said, okay, yes, I know the devastating effects of diabetes. No, I don't want that, and I want to make sure I don't come down with it. I want to make sure that I get rid of it if I have it. Then I'll go ahead and tell you how you can get started. Simple little website and forms to fill out. And it is, I'm going to put it up on the screen right now. It's called thehumantransformer.com. Okay, go to thehumantransformer.com/signup.html. Okay, that's the website to sign up. Everything is there. There's a page for you to be able to put in your personal information, your health information, financial information. There's an NDA to sign, a non-disclosure. You're paying good money for this. It's not fair to you and everyone else to give it away. And so we don't want you to share the, you can tell them what you're doing as far as how well you're doing, and from John Jubilee, they're not giving away the details of the program. And so you can go there, thehumantransformer.com/signup.html to be able to sign up for that. And I'll quickly just show you what that looks like. It's real simple, just a page, and put that up. It looks like this. And so thehumantransformer.com/signup.html, and you start here and you put in your contact information, your health information, the agreement, the review, and payment. You can do all that right here. Now, also let me show you how the payment works. And so, Good Sydney will ask the questions in a little bit. And so, how the finances work of this. John has a CEO Celebrity Transformer program that's $10,000, and he's had a lot of CEOs and celebrities go through that. Normal price is $5,000. When we do these webinars, it's $3,000 or in person. But if you can pay up front, we realize we paid a lot of money to accountants and bookkeepers to keep track and save people on payments, because we don't charge interest or finance charge or anything like that. And so we would rather give you the discount than having to pay an accountant or bookkeeper to keep up with it and collect it. And so if you can pay up front, use a card or whatever, then it's only $2,500, okay, another $500 discount. If you can't pay up front, you can pay $1,000 down, $1,000 for the next month, you'll be done before the 88 days, and it's only $3,000. If you say, you know what, I can't do that, but boy, I need this program, and I understand I've minister's salary with 11 children, not a lot of extra money, and so I did a payment like this. What we do is for a $500 down payment and $200 a month, then you can also get started. And that price is $3,500 because we have to pay someone to be able to collect that and keep track of all those things. And so that's how the finances work. When you go through the sign up, then you can click on the different option and sign out. Now, if you have a question about anything, okay, then you can just email me, David at johnjubilee, JUBILEE.com. Okay, 1 L, 2 E's. David at johnjubilee.com. I'll do my best to answer that. If we need a phone call or a consult, I'll be glad to call you and talk you through any problems or questions that you have. So again, to sign up, and John, we're getting ready. We do have some questions coming in, and thank you for those. Thehumantransformer.com/signup.html. And you can click on the link on the side, or if you're watching the replay, you may have to type it in. If you need the link, email me and we'll get it to you. If you have any questions that we can help you with, even afterwards, to let us know. And by the way, I did want to show you one thing also. You can go to the website of the Human Transformer. Okay, you can go there, and so here you can see testimonials. Okay, let me share that. Yes. Okay, so you can see testimonials. You click on that, and this is just a few of literally the thousands we have, and we just want to put them all on there. But you can go through and see. Here's high blood pressure. Here's Kenny Franklin, diabetes. Okay, and you can click and watch his video as he talks about diabetes. Here's Frank Kleckner. Also, he'll tell a story about diabetes and gout and blood pressure and all the different things that have been able to be helped on there. So you can click on that, just type in thehumantransformer.com, and you can go see the testimonies from doctors, from talk show hosts, famous people, and you can go see those. So if you do want to see any testimonies from people who really had it, we have literally thousands of stories. Okay? So John, we have a couple questions, and thank you. I'll turn it back over to you and read those to you. Cindy says, I have a friend that has diabetes. She's not overweight. She's a very tiny woman. How would this work for her?
Well, I'm so glad you asked that question, because first of all, diabetes has nothing to do with the size of the person. Diabetes has to do with the function of the pancreas regulating insulin. So I've had people that didn't need to lose 1 ounce, not 1 ounce of weight, that have had some of the most dramatic health reversals, on the program. So again, we're talking about getting healthy from the inside out. Literally 15%, almost 2 out of every 10 of my clients for 18 years, thousands and thousands of people have been people that did not need to lose 1 pound. But everyone needs to get healthy at a cellular level. And if she has diabetes and she's already lean, the good news is her pancreas needs to get healthy, just like a person that's overweight. She still needs to get a healthy pancreas, and she needs to get it regulating that insulin, and it absolutely will help her.
And John, Brian said, I'm taking 850 metformin twice a day after being diagnosed and not being overweight. I've been told I'm considered type 1 in my late 30s. I assume I can change this based on what you're telling me.
Yeah, well, here's the great thing. The fact that you caught it at a young age, that at least you're not. I'm just giving you the good news first. So thank God for you, brother, that you're not one of the 72 million people that has no idea of what's going on. So at least you've been diagnosed, you know where you're at, and now you can take an action step to get yourself, free of that. But the fact that you have it at such a young age, and the fact that they've already put you on metformin, usually that's people at least over 40. Many people in their 50s and 60s are on that drug. So to be on that in their 30s, I'm telling you, man, my heart just goes out to you and says, hey, you have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain to get healthy at a cellular level and get that pancreas, cranking the way that it's supposed to, so that you can be diabetic free. So I'd love to help you transform.
Awesome, Brian. That's great. And Brian, just a question. I would love to hear this. How long have you been diagnosed with that, and how long have you been on that? Just curious. So great questions there from Cindy and Brian. Anyone else has a question? Feel free to type it in. We'd be glad to be able to help. This is very open, relaxed, no pressure here. And John's great to be able to answer any questions that you have on diabetes or any other health things that you have. We've had people literally from cancer to blood pressure issues to heart issues, you name it, we've been able to help them. Brian says 2011, John said, so since 2011 he's been diagnosed with that. So definitely, Brian would love to be able to help you. And you can click the link and get started. If you have any questions, just email us, and we'd be glad to talk with you. Okay? And John, those are all the questions that have come in so far. Anything else you want to mention or close with?
Yeah, I'd just like to encourage everybody again that the lack of knowledge is what destroys us. It's the lack of knowledge. So I'm giving you some new knowledge tonight, that first of all, so that you're not ignorant. And then, though it doesn't do any good to have knowledge, if I tell you the bridge is out 2 miles down the road, that's good knowledge that will keep you alive. But if you keep driving down the same road, you're still going to die, even though I gave you the knowledge. So we need knowledge, and then we need to act on knowledge. So I'm sharing something with you that can change your life, that can change your friend's life, that can change your family member's life. And I'm encouraging you, this is not some slogan. This is not a marketing campaign. This is life and death. This is life and death. You don't have to be in the grave to be dead. You can have a life where you feel like you're dead and you're not able to enjoy everything you're supposed to enjoy in this life. And if you got your feet chopped off, or you're stabbing yourself 3 times a day, in your belly, or you're tied, to medication, that's a type of death. So I'm giving you good knowledge and good information, and I have a program that will give you simple corresponding steps to take to get yourself healthy. So I say, come on, man, join me in being the best you can possibly be for your whole life. And let's get this word out. This webinar will be saved. You could share it with a friend. You can share it with someone else that has diabetes and get this word out of, hey, you know what? There is hope, real hope. Look, the world out there is selling false hope. They're selling false hope. But I'm giving you something that's real. Hey, I didn't show up yesterday. I've been around for almost 2 decades. Almost 20 years, and I help people for free for 10 years. 6 hours a day of my life helping people for free to get healthy. I learned what I learned on the true battlefield of real life, helping real people with real problems. And when their doctor started telling them, you're cured, you're cured, you're cured, not me, their doctor telling them, I realized I had something I had to share with the world. Hey, and it wasn't even just me realizing it. I can't even take credit for it. Look, the truth of it is, those of you people that have ever heard of this guy, Dave Ramsey, the financial peace guy, Dave Ramsey sat me down in his office and said, you got to go full-time in health and wellness. You're going to change the world. That's how I ended up full-time in health and wellness. I was a banker, for goodness sake. For 21 years, I was a banker, and a good one. And I love my job. But I love this more because I learned the only thing more important than money in this world is your health. Ask Steve Jobs, what's more important, money or health? Oh, Steve Jobs can't answer. But if he could answer from the grave, he would say resoundingly, health is more important than money. Health is more valuable than $8.3 billion because Steve Jobs couldn't buy his. So I have a message that's pure. I have a track record that's pure. And I have pure science that really works for every person every time. Because you are 99.9% the same in our genetic blueprint, in our DNA, and the same thing works for all of us to get healthy. So I want to encourage you. I'm giving you good knowledge, so now it's up to you. Take an action step. And if you're not taking it for yourself, if you're watching this for a friend or family member, then take the action step to save this webinar and send it to them by email so their life can be changed. And look, we have 2 websites you can get to us through. You can come through johnjubilee.com or thehumantransformer.com. Just write them both down, and we'll have the links there. David has given you his email. It's David like King David, David@johnjubilee.com. You can contact him for any further questions and consults. So, hey, I'm with you. I'm going to be with you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be around for a long time, probably about 70 more years. You're going to be seeing me on a hologram when I'm 120 years old. Because guess what? I haven't been sick. I've been sick in 18 years, not one time. Because when you're healthy at a cellular level, it's hard to make a healthy cell sick. So I'm sharing an experience. I'm sharing a real experience. I'm not selling, I'm sharing. I'm sharing a real experience that I want you to have of never being sick a day in your life and enjoying every day of your life. So come on, take your step. Take your step. I'll be here with you. I'll be here every step of the way. When you sign up with me, I'm with you for the rest of your life. I do a live webinar every single week. You can ask me any question you have, every question and any question that you have. I have hundreds of videos of questions I've already answered, and you get full access to all that knowledge base of literally thousands of hours of research of thousands of real people that I've helped. I learned it in the field of true human laboratory, the human laboratory of science. And I love to share it with you. I'm just sharing life. I'm sharing a real experience. So come and share this life with me.
Awesome. Just one last bookkeeping thing, Cindy, and for anyone else on here, you should, because you registered, you'll get an email that sends back to you on a replay, and so you can just take that and forward that on to a friend and say, hey, just want to let you know I heard this, I really think it would help you, and give them this information, follow up on them. Sometimes people think, oh, there's nothing can help, and they've heard all the quote cures out there, but no one has the thousands of testimonies documented that we have to be able to prove that this does work, and so give us an opportunity to be able to help them. Okay? Thank you so much for being here, and if you have a question, you let us know. God bless you and good night.